Hey everybody, it's Ben here with a quick tutorial on how to use SAM. SAM is a social media automation assistant that essentially can help you create and schedule content super quickly with a variety of AI agents all working side by side as basically one ultimate social media assistant. So let's dive in. So after you have SAM installed, you'll be taken to this screen where you can plug in your license key. SAM does run on the back end, so once you've plugged in your license key, you'll be taken to this screen where you can simply click the Open Dashboard and it'll take you right to it. So this is the SAM interface. It does give you a quick get started, whole bunch of different settings you can go through. These are all hyperlinks. The best place to probably start is by going to the settings area here. The reason why is because you can't do much inside your AI space when no provider is configured, nor can you really generate anything, obviously. So over in the settings area is where you can start plugging things in. I recommend starting with Workspace. Workspace is essentially your top level instructions. This will be sent to all your AI that are working with you throughout your social media creation journey. Basically plugging in something like your brand, your tone, everything right here is a great place to do it. If you have multiple different platforms and different brands that you're wanting to work with, you will be able to apply a custom voice, but we'll get into that in a little while. Top level instructions right here to go to all the agents in the space. Under AI and Search, this is where you actually start plugging in the various models that will be helping you with your social media creation, scheduling journey here. So AI providers, hit AI provider here, and you've got different options that I've got coded in here. We'll be adding more in the future. For now, let's choose Anthropic Claude, for example. Plug in your API. Once you plugged in your API key, you'll hit Save and Test. You'll notice that it says it was added successfully. Now, when I click the drop-down arrow, you'll notice that Claude options are all here. These are being pulled in live real time. 4.6 was just released today, so that's brand new. You can hit OpenAI Provider and add another option. So I'm a big proponent of open source, so I'm going to go ahead and do Ollama Cloud's option here. All right, plug that in, save and test. And now you'll notice I've got all the Ollama Cloud options as well. So for chat here, let's say I want to use, let's do Sonnet 4.5 from Anthropic. You don't need a whole lot of intelligence for the web search option, so I'm going to do something cheap there. Claude Haiku 4.5 is super cheap, so I'm going to choose that. For writing, I'm going to go ahead and choose GLM 4.7 from Ollama Cloud, really great model. For writing, coding, lots of different things. Now obviously you need to allow your model to actually search the internet. And that's what this area down here is for, search providers. Under Add API Search Provider, we have different options here. We've got Serper, Perplexity, Tavily, and Brave. Tavily is great for AI-tailored search, so I'm going to plug that in here. Save. All right, so Tavily's been saved here. If I have multiple options, then I can add more than one. The Set as Default has shown up. Make sure you do hit Set as Default so that it is actually working for you. If you have multiple options, you can change the default. That's what the Set as Default option is for. If you happen to be using a self-hosted version of SeerXNG, you can enable that simply by checking the box, and it'll pop up with whatever port number you would like to use. You can test and save as well, and you again will need to hit Save as Default if you want to use that and not any of the API services instead. So that's how you plug in the different APIs for your models and your search provider. Now let's get on to embedding. Now embedding is essentially the process of being able to take your language, so your writing samples that you want to give to SAM so that SAM can write for you in your style, brand identity documents that you want to upload to SAM. If you upload all those in plain text, it will take a lot longer for the model to be able to actually parse and read that. Embedding does a background process where it vectorizes the language into what is better for AI, more semantic meaning, etc. If you use self-hosted, we have an Ollama self-hosted option. OpenAI has some pretty good embedding models. Plug that in, test and load, pick which option I want to use, and save my configuration. As it says up here, you want to choose wisely, because if you change your embedding model, you're going to have to re-embed all of your documents. Now let's get on to knowledge base. Knowledge base is an area where you can go in and upload all your different options. You'll notice I have several of my Substack articles uploaded here, for example, so that when I'm doing social media writing, it gets a sense of how I write. Writing samples or brand guidelines or philosophy and mission, those are just a few of the different options you have as far as category for what you're uploading here. Pick that, you'd choose the file from your computer, and you would hit the embedding button that comes up. You can embed multiple files all at once. It's a fairly quick process. Moving on to accounts, if you're wanting to actually import your social media accounts, you can do so manually by hitting the Add Account button, and you can pick your platform, your username, and save here. But there's another option to automate that process. Under Automation here, there's an option for an API mode. This uses Posties. The reason I picked Posties is because it is the most competitively priced API-enabled option for social media scheduling, and it works really, really well on the back end and has a really crisp, clean interface. So this is the Posties interface. Also has the option for API right here. So when you grab your API key from Posties, then you can plug it in Sam's approval dashboard right here. And once you have done that, you can hit Test Connection, and it will actually test. It will find all accounts that you have already created in your Posties account. You can do that here by hitting Add Channel under Posties, and they'll appear here. This actually does sync out to the platforms themselves. So Posties is integrated in X, Blue Sky, all of them. So you can use Posties to integrate your accounts with them for automatic scheduling later on. When you hit Test Connection here, it does find everything that you've got, and you can quickly hit Import All. And at that point, it will pull all of those accounts over here into your accounts area for you, so you don't have to do that manually. And that way you know that they're matched up to your Posties account as well. Now again, it's not required to use Posties. You can, it's an option. You can do manual scheduling if you would like to, but if you want to automate the scheduling process, then you can use the Posties option. Now inside the social media different accounts, you'll notice that I have a custom voice option for some of these. If you want to use custom voice, essentially what you can do is you can simply slide this custom voice toggle on here. Once you've done that, you can have it either augment or replace. So if you don't want it to use what you've plugged into your overall workspace area or your knowledge base, then you can click replace, and then it will only follow the directions here. So that is how you can specifically stick to a certain brand if you're working with multiple different brands, platforms, etc. Or you can augment by adding to those as well with the custom voice option. If you would like to have AI help you in determining optimal posting times, it can do that. So every time you do a scheduling, it'll actually do a quick check to see, okay, when have we posted last? What are optimal posting times for this particular platform? It'll do all that research for you. And then, of course, your time zone as well. If you've been working with Sam for a while and you want to make sure you don't lose Sam, or you need to move Sam over to a different computer, server, whatever the case, you do have the option to come in here and export everything that you've got built in, including your chats, all your different drafts of everything that you've got. Just check the boxes here, export, and then when you want to import it on the new machine, you just choose File and import it. So that's the settings screen. Let's pop over here to actually using Sam. Let's go to the AI chat. So this is the chat area. You can have Sam consider your workspace and your knowledge base documents by simply toggling those on. Those do persist, so if you toggle them on once, they'll stay toggled. Or if you want Sam to just work with you just as a straight AI, you can of course turn those off. Basically, you can type in a message and say, "Hi Sam, I want to work on a document," or whatever kind of material we want to write. And what Sam actually does is Sam is instructed to get to the point where once they've brainstormed enough with you, they can create a set of instructions that you can then send to the content generator agent. So again, Sam is very much a series of agents all set up together for you to do your social media work. So here I'm going to go ahead and plug in something super simple here. "Hi Sam, let's do some research on the latest news in AI tech." Send that through. 3 dots bouncing means that it is working here. Let's give it just a sec. Perfect. So Sam used Tavily, which I've got set as my search tool. You might have something different set in your settings screen, but it did go through and it found a whole bunch of different news for me. So all these different fun things that it found, sources and everything. Now I could iterate further with Sam by saying, "Hey, I really like this particular angle," or I could simply say, "This is great, generate instructions." So you can work back and forth with Sam to brainstorm and to come up with what your material is going to be. And remember, Sam is receiving all your knowledge base, all of your workspace, everything. So it knows your content very, very well because you took the time to upload all that into your settings screen. So I'm going to just say, let's use this to create a set of instructions for writing about the latest news. Hoping you notice it actually argued with me just a little bit here because it wants me to specify which news topic I want to do for some better results. But you can, of course, push back and say a generalized set of instructions for now, just for the demo purposes here. Perfect. So Sam went ahead and created content instructions, core message, narrative, emotional arc, and you'll notice that it's pulling instructions, etc., from my workspace where I've specified what I want Sam to be looking for. All I have to do now is hit this use as instructions option. When I do that, it actually comes over here and I'm able to further edit if I want to edit anything in there. For example, get rid of Sam's, oh, perfect, response. Once I'm ready to go, I simply hit the send to generate option. Once I do that, it'll take me to the Generate tab here. So this is the Generate Drafts area. So Sam is pulling from what you added in the account screen. So you'll notice it's got all my different accounts here. You can have Sam do only a couple of different generations at a time, or of course you can have Sam generate all at once here. You can specify how many drafts you want Sam to generate on this specific topic that you're talking about right now. You can also specify what character limit you want. So some of you might be, for example, on X, you might be verified on X, and therefore you have a higher character limit than somebody who's not verified and only can do 280 characters. So you can specify what your character limit is here. That will all be sent to content generation agent here in a second. So you'll notice that it did put the instructions from the AI tab right here through that send to generate button that was there. If you want Sam to do further online research while it's writing the content, you can include that here. Now the research agent will use your search provider, as you know. If you want Sam to consider the custom voice that is in each of your accounts, then you can have Sam do that as well by saying, please consider my custom voice. If you do that, that means Sam is going to have to spin up multiple agents to do different research for you. If you want to have Sam do that all at once with multiple parallel agents, you can simply toggle the parallel agent on here. If you don't want that because maybe you're concerned about your API limit, or if you've hit errors while working with Sam that say you've hit your API limit, then you can simply toggle the parallel off. It'll take a little bit longer, but it's a little bit more dependable. If there are specific research instructions specific to the research agent that you want to add, you can do so right here. And finally, this can take some time because Sam is literally writing, in my case, it's going to be 10 different posts, some of them quite lengthy, some of them short, some lengthy, right? So it's going to take a while. So what I can do is I can say, do this in parallel instead of doing them one after the other sequentially. Now, if you do sequential mode, it's again a bit more dependable. You won't hit API limits if you are concerned about that. But if you're not, then you can go ahead and just do parallel generation. All right, I'm ready to go, so I'm going to hit Generate Drafts. All right, so after hitting that generate button, Sam will spin up its research agents first. All the custom voices that you might have applied to your different accounts, it'll spin up a different research agent for each, which is why it's showing 4 for me right now, because I have different custom voices attached to different platforms that I would like to use. All right, and once Sam is done writing, then you can head over to the Review tab here. You'll notice all these different filters that are here for me. Your filters will look different depending on what you have set in the accounts. You'll notice that several of my accounts have different names depending on the platform, which is why you see some fun repeats here. But you can filter based on platform or what account or what status it is in. Now, everything that when it is first generated by Sam is placed in the pending review category. So you'll see that I've got my few that we just started writing just now. They're there and ready to go. So to review any of these, I simply just click on the card and I can read through it and I can say, oh, I do like this, I don't like this, whatever the case. If you do like it, you simply come down here and you hit the approve button and it'll actually send it over to the approved area here. Check on that, and here we go. That's where it's gone to approve. Now, if you realized you didn't want to approve it, you can go in there and you can say, actually, I want to send that back to review. You can also copy it to a different platform. You can schedule directly from here if you want to, but we'll get to scheduling here in just a minute because you can do it in a much easier way. But if you find that you don't like a certain post that Sam has liked, you can either reject it outright or you can edit it yourself. Or if you'd like, you can actually ask Sam to regenerate it for you. So when you click the regenerate button, a new set of feedback is down below here. It also does send the previous feedback to Sam, so you simply augment it with whatever it is you'd like. And then once you hit regenerate, of course, Sam will regenerate that for you. Another fun thing that you can do is you can add your own. So if inspiration strikes you and you decide you want to write something up and you want to add it to the mix of different posts that Sam has created for you to be scheduled through the Sam platform, you can add your own post. You can pick which account you would like it to go on, write it down here, and it'll just add it straight to the approved list for you. When you've put it in the approved area, then that means it's ready to be scheduled. Under schedule, you have all your different platforms over here to the left. You can click on any of them to expand and see the different things that are available. You can simply just click and drag onto a day to have Sam actually schedule that for you. When you do that, it's going to pop up with this little option that says, do you want to auto post it, assuming you have Posties built into the back end because you've added your Posties API key. If you don't want to use Posties, you can simply do manual copy paste. You can change your day. If you didn't mean to drag it on Friday, for example, maybe you meant Saturday, whatever works. You, of course, can change your time, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to leave it on auto post via Posties and hit schedule. And you'll notice that it did go ahead and schedule it there. So let's test this. If I'm looking at 10 o'clock a.m. on Saturday the 7th, I'm going to pop over to Posties here, refresh my page, 7th, 10 o'clock right here. We are not. Yep, it's the exact same post. Now, if I want to undo that, I can go ahead and click this undo option right here. Now, one word of caution with Posties while I'm looking at this, Posties does limit you to 30 requests per hour. And that is just a hard limit from Posties itself. So if you want to, the best way to kind of get around that is to, if you're scheduling a whole bunch of these at once, schedule them manually first, and then you can just go in and change it to Posties when you have new API calls open up. Now, another super fancy and easy way of being able to schedule a whole bunch of posts at once. So if you've approved a bunch of posts that Sam has written and you're ready to just schedule all for the next week, for example, what you can do is you can use these auto schedule options up at the top here. So I'm going to pop over to next week so I can show you an example. Let's say I want to go ahead and schedule a bunch on Sunday. So I'm going to click the Sunday button, and a list pops up. I can schedule more than one post at a time if I want to do multiple posts in a day. I can do that. That's not a problem. Again, I can switch from manual to auto. If I do multiple posts, again, I just have to remind you that you do have that limit from Posties. If you're doing that, you may just have to do one at a time. Again, 30 different posts per hour can go through Posties. Here, you have the option to either just have Sam choose for you, or if you have specific posts you would like Sam to choose, you can hit the little arrow to the right here, little caret, and then you can actually check which one you're wanting Sam to do for you. You can mix and match. If you want Sam to pick some but you pick the others, then you can just kind of choose which ones that you want to pick and which ones you want Sam to pick. So I'm just going to hit the auto schedule button. So I actually changed my mind and decided I didn't want to do a lot of this on Sunday, so I actually rolled a lot of those back, redid it on Monday. As you can see here, Sam scheduled all 8 posts for me, and Sam does do research whenever you do a auto schedule button. It does take a little while to actually work because it's doing research in the background to kind of figure out, okay, what's the best time to actually do the post based on the platform, the trending topic. It also tries to see when you recently posted on a platform. It tries to vary the times that you've posted as well. So that's Sam. So let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy.